Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy. This is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Today is a fantastic day. We are going to distill our apple pie whiskey. Hey, this ought to be fantastic and a lot of fun. Okay? Okay, there's a couple things that you can do for us that's very, very important to help us out. And it's 5 things. Number 1, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe. You'd be surprised how much that helps us. Hey, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. Share us with your friends. And leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to put our mash in our still. We're going to assemble the still. We'll start heating everything up. We'll get it running, and then we'll show you step by step how we're going to distill this apple pie whiskey out. Okay, I am charging my still up, and I figured there'd be a lot of sediment in my mash with all that apple, so I did put a screen there so I can catch all that. Clean, you know, I want everything as clean as I can going into my still because I don't want to scorch anything. Alright, so I'll get this finished up and we'll be back. Alright, so we'll start stacking this out. We'll put our cone on first. Put a clamp around it. Nice and tight, only hand tight. Then we'll put our copper. Put our copper in our column. I'm going to put 2 rolls of copper in there. Not too tight. You can breathe through it, so that's a good sign. Gasket. Alright, my next my sight glass. Under my sight glass I'm going to use, it's a mesh gasket. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some apple pie spices in my gin basket here. So we got some cinnamon sticks. And I got a little, I'm going to take a hot bag here. That's a nutmeg and allspice. Whenever you put stuff in your gin basket, don't pack it in there too tight. So, there's little satchel of some of the spices. I'm going to put 1, 2. Break them in half. 1, 2. That's about 4 medium cinnamon sticks. Alright. That ought to carry over into the distillate. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go with is a gasket. Move the camera up a little bit higher so you can see what's going on. Go on, of course, is our head temperature, our gauge. Very, very, very important, because everything by the still is run by this gauge right here, your head temperature. Okay, we got our still charged up. We built the column. We got a couple rolls of copper in the bottom here. Okay, we got a mesh screen in the bottom of our gin basket. About 4 cinnamon sticks and a little satchel of allspice and ground nutmeg. This would be your pre-condenser, which I'm not going to be using. I just leave it on there for the height. And then, of course, temperature gauge. And then here is our condenser. Okay, so our next step would be to start heating it up. And we're going to start heating her up. While that's going on, we'll hook up our water connections. And we'll start this run. Okay, I'll be back. Still to start heating up. I like to feel the column. It's not coming up the column yet. I mean the pot's only about 130 degrees, so it ain't going to start coming up for probably another 10-20 degrees. So we'll continue on. Okay, I'm feeling the column. I feel a little bit of heat starting to come up. Now I'm seeing a little bit of this fogginess coming into my sight glass. I see the temperature rise on the head just a little bit. It's about at, I don't know, about 90 degrees. Okay, so right now is where you gotta keep your eye on it, because what's going to happen when she starts to climb, she's going to take off like a rocket. All right, and you got to be there to cut the heat back. So don't walk away. You never want to walk away from it still running. I can feel the heat starting to come up the column, like I said. So the very first thing that's going to come off is going to be the methanol, which is about 145 degrees, I believe. That's when it's going to start coming off. Inside my pot's about 170, so stuff's starting to work its way up the column. She'll start working here shortly. Okay, so I'll watch this. I got my cooling water turned on. But here in a couple minutes she'll be ready to start producing. Okay, she's just starting to produce. I'm going to collect the first, since this is mainly a fruit mash, I'm going to collect the first 6 ounces and discard that. I don't know if you can see inside the sight glass, but you can see the distillate going up and down. It's hot up here. Alright, the head temperature, it's at right about, just about 140, so that's with the methanol. I'm going to try to leave it there for a little while. We'll push off this methanol. And then after that, we'll start collecting our distillate. Okay, there's my first 6 ounces. I mean, you can really smell the difference. You can really smell that you know, the heads and the 4 shots there. Okay, my temperature gauge. My temperature gauge up top here is right on about 180. That's where this still likes to run. Now she'll stay there for pretty much the whole time, and then when we get down near the end, she'll start. I have to creep the temperature up just a little bit to keep it producing. And that's when you really know you're getting into your tails. So we're going to use start off with a real small collection jar, then I'm going to move up to a medium jar, and we'll collect all this out. Okay. Hey, she's running real well. We started our second pint. I'm going to take a little sample, put on our ABV refractometer. We're running about 135% coming off. I'm very happy with that. One thing I do notice, maybe not, I thought maybe I'd see a little bit of steam coming out of the pipe, because usually if you see a little bit of steam come out of your pipe there, oh no, it's still good and cold. That usually means that you're not running enough coolant water. Just for a side note. So she's running pretty good. Little taste. Wow. Okay. Welcome back. So far we got 1, 2, 3 quarts, and we started off at about 140 proof, and I think this last one, let's check it out. We are looking at, it's coming off about 90 proof right now. Okay, so she is starting to drop. Temperatures, she's getting close to 200 degrees head temperature up there. So I think I might end up getting this quart, or this half quart coming off, and then I'll probably end up start getting into my tails. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Okay, we finished up our apple pie whiskey run here. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. That last one, I see a lot of tails in it, but we'll save that and put it in another batch. Taste wise, I mean, if you take a little taste, I mean, that's fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, I can taste the cinnamon, I can taste the apple. Even down to there. Started at 140 proof. I think we ended up, what was that one? You know what, I can't remember. This last good jar, I think you're going to see it's about 65, about 70 proof. Alright, about 70 proof there. So our next step is we'll sit there and taste each jar, decide what we want to keep, and then we're going to mix it all together. And then I'm kind of thinking about proofing it down with some apple juice, since this is the apple pie kind of thing. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just kind of cut it down with a little bit of apple juice and then age it on some oak. It ought to be pretty interesting. So I'm going to let this sit tonight, and then I'll be back in probably a couple of days and we'll finish. Like I said, we'll check each jar, and then we'll proof it down, and we'll put it on some oak. So we'll see you then.